Welcome into the LL Sports Update Show. He is Jeff Reinhart. I'm John Walk. It is the month of November, already week 10 in the high school football season. Can you believe it, man? It seems like yesterday we were just putting together the preseason football magazine, and here we are only 1 week away from the start of the district playoffs, and there is a lot on the line in week 10. So we'll start with our LNP game of the week. Northern Lebanon traveling to Lancaster Catholic. This one's for all the marbles. LL Section 3 crown on the line. Tell us about it, Jeff.
Great game, and this is kind of what we pegged back in August. Told you, don't be surprised if these two teams are here in week 10 playing for the section championship. They each kind of took different routes. Lancaster Catholic was struggling at 0-4, but they really put it together. Crusaders playing great, 5 wins in a row. Great win last week, we got to see it. Double OT against Donegal, they pull it out 24-23. Sebastian Lewis, great pick at the end on the 2-point play. Great win for those guys. Northern Lebanon, really good offense. Michigan Dobbs, Stevie Herb, Christian Trader, Isaiah Davila. Those guys can really get up and down and score points. They're number 1 in the section in offense. Lancaster Catholic is number 1 in the section in defense. And they were actually number 1 in the league in defense going into last week against Donegal. They've dipped back to like number 2. But Catholic's D against Northern Lebanon's offense. I think that's what this one's going to come down to. The Vikings can really get up and down and score some points. A lot of gadget plays. They'll run reverses. Really good in special teams, especially Trader, who's phenomenal. So Catholic's defense will be tested here this week. As you said, winner takes all. And this could be Coach Bruce Harbach's last game. He's retiring after the season. So if Catholic loses, they're probably done for districts. They're the bubble team right now. Northern Lebanon looks safe in 4A to get in, win or lose. But Catholic's going to need a win and probably help to get in the AAA bracket. So tons riding on this game. It should be a ton of fun. We're looking forward to it. We will see you guys at Crusader Stadium on Friday night. Save us a seat. Okay, we were at Lancaster Catholic this week. Irene Snyder was there. She got a chance to catch up with Coach Bruce Harbach and with Shane O'Leary. And here's what those guys had to say about Friday's big game.
Big game coming up on Friday. How do you feel right now at this point?
Just preparing for another week 10 in the LL League. It's a great way to end a season, great way to end a career. You know, playing for section championship, possibility for playoffs. So I think it's a great way to go out.
And then you've won 5 games in a row so far. Like, why do you think that is? Why do you think your team's playing so well?
I mentioned last week turnovers. The first 4 ball games we had 19 turnovers, and the past couple games, obviously we had 1 last week, but the last 5 games maybe we had 5 or 6 turnovers, and that's a big difference. Have to hold on to the football and control the football.
So talk to me. You've won 5 games in a row. Why do you think you're playing so well?
I just think everything just clicked all of a sudden. Everybody's playing as a team, and everybody just knows what they have to do now, and just we're doing each other's jobs.
And it's a big game on Friday, so how do you feel right now about your team?
We're really good right now. I feel like everybody's focused where we all know what we have to do, so I feel like we're going to come out and play a great game.
Are you excited about playing at all for the section championships?
The environment around here is crazy. Everybody in school is talking about it. Everybody's really excited about the game.
Okay, Irene, thank you for that. Northern Lebanon at Lancaster Catholic for all the marbles in Section 3 should be great. We'll see you over there on Friday. 2 other section championships will be decided on Friday night. In Section 1, Township can win outright against Penn Manor. In Section 2, Manheim Central can win outright against Garden Spot. Tell us about those games.
Yeah, and for Manheim Township, they're going for their first Section 1 crown since 2007, which obviously is the last year that they had beaten Wilson like they did this year. So that's going to be a big thing riding on the line. Obviously, Coach Evans wasn't there in 2007 when they won that title, so he's going for his first section crown as the Blue Streaks coach, so it's worth keeping that in mind. However, Township will have to get past a strong Penn Manor Veer running attack that did very well on the ground last week. Most notably, LNP Player of the Week running back, defensive end Evan Jones did great on both sides of the ball. He had a season high in carries, rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. We caught up with him earlier this week, so check that out on LancasterOnline.com. But yeah, the Manheim Township defense will certainly have to pack their lunch there as far as slowing down the Penn Manor run game. Manheim Central, like you said, going up against Garden Spot. The Barons have won the last 2 section titles, however they've shared them. So Technically, if they win Friday, it would be their third straight section crown. However, it'd be the first outright section title for Mannheim Central since 2013. They've obviously won a bunch over the years, so that's worth keeping in mind there. They're going to have to go up against a Garden Spot team that, has lost 3 straight. However, if you go back and look at the numbers, Spartans have averaged close to 400 yards a game in those 3 losses, so they're still putting up a bunch of yards and points, and they're going to have to slow them down, most notably quarterback Cameron Roth, who you wrote about last week. We all know about that guy. And you know, they solved their first half. I don't know if it's issues or whatnot that they were having in the middle of the season, but I guess I point that out to say that Mannheim Central, I think, probably has the best, one of the best, halftime adjustment coaching staffs in the league. So that's worth paying attention if they come out slow, and they'll probably solve some things and take care of business there. So that's worth keeping an eye on. Mannheim Central, Mannheim Township, both going for outright section crowns on Friday. Okay. That's it for LL high school football. Again, big game coming up for Penn State on Saturday, third straight Saturday in a row for them. Nittany Lions traveling to Michigan State for the Land-Grant Trophy, and a lot more on the line. To get us up to speed on that, LNP's Mike Gross stopped by. We throw out the mic.
Penn State travels to East Lansing, Michigan on Saturday to play Michigan State. The Spartans are 6-2. They're coming off a loss. As you may have heard, Penn State also coming off a loss, and it was a big one, 39-38 to Ohio State in a game that is going to make it very difficult for Penn State to win the Big Ten, very difficult for Penn State to get a berth in the national championship playoffs. The playoff rankings were, the first edition of those were announced last night. Penn State coming in at number 7, which means they're not out of it, but they got a lot of work to do. And the first order of business is bouncing back mentally, bouncing back emotionally, and even bouncing back physically, because last week was such an emotional game. The defense was on the field a lot. Now they've got to travel. They've got an early kickoff on Saturday. That's going to be an issue in addition to everything else. And Penn State has a formidable challenge if they want to pick themselves up and kind of get back in the college football conference and national race. That begins on Saturday with Penn State, Michigan State in East Lansing. I'm Mike Gross for LancasterOnline.com.
Okay, Mike, thanks for that. We'll see if Penn State can bounce back after last week's disappointing loss at Ohio State.
Don't remind me.
Don't remind you. Yeah, tough one. Wow. Okay, thanks again, Mike. Let's get back into LL discussion here. Everything here in fall sports, we're getting towards the end. We're down to district and state playoffs and everything, and golf is finished, so, and tennis, I believe. But there's still a lot going on in playoffs, volleyball, soccer, field hockey. It's getting good here. So Tim Gross stopped by to do a wrap-up on everything, fall sports and LL teams, who's left, and what's coming up the rest of the week. Let's throw it to Tim for that.
District championships are on the line in boys soccer beginning Thursday when Mannheim Central takes on Lower Dauphin for the AAA crown at Hershey Park Stadium. It's the first of 3 championship games involving Lancaster League boys soccer teams. On Saturday, Lancaster Mennonite will take on Ole Valley for the 2A crown, and Hempfield will take on Cumberland Valley for the 4A title. That'll sandwich a girls soccer championship game featuring Conestoga Valley. The Buckskins take on Governor Mifflin for the 4A title at Hershey Park Stadium. In girls volleyball, 4 local teams remain in championship contention. In Quad A, it's Hempfield, which will take on Central York in the semifinals. Other semifinals include Garden Spot versus Palmyra in AAA. In AA, Lancaster Mennonite will take on DeLone Catholic. And in Single A, it'll be Lidditz Christian versus Covenant Christian. 3 Mannheim Township golfers medaled at last week's PIAA championships. On the boys' side, Jacob Mancinani finished 9th, Trey Kuntz finished 10th. And on the girls' side, Ellen Wager finished 5th. In girls tennis, Lancaster Catholic and Mannheim Township bowed out of the PIAA team tournaments last week. They reached the quarterfinals. And the local tennis players are gearing up for this weekend's PIAA singles and doubles championships. In AAA, it'll be Hempfield's Amanda Higino and Mannheim Township's Kate Moore and Taylor Copan in singles, as well as Julia Darkey and Emily Garvin for Mannheim Township in the doubles competition. In AA, doubles team of Lancaster Catholic's Riley Smith and Isabel Midcap will go into the doubles competition. In field hockey, as of this recording, 3 local field hockey teams were gearing up for semifinals in districts. In AAA, it was Penn Manor, which was getting ready to take on Hershey, and Mannheim Township preparing to take on Lower Dauphin. And in AA, Donegal was gearing up for a match against Berks Catholic. Finally, last week's District 3 cross-country meet was chock full of good results for the Lancaster-Lebanon League. Manheim Township girls and Hempfield boys took home team titles, while individually Columbia's Jordan Haberstroh ran to a single-A crown in the girls' race. Other local results included Elko's Lillian Brubaker, who finished 5th in AA, and Cocalico's Jamie Zamrin, who took 5th place in AAA. On the boys' side, Lancaster Mennonites' Logan Horst finished 4th in AA, and Cocalico's Evan Kreider was the runner-up in AAA. I'm Tim Gross for LNP.
Okay, Tim, thanks for that. Anxious to see how all the LL teams finish up here in the fall.
It's crazy to see.
Yeah.
It's good to see all those teams involved in high-stakes games this late in the year, for sure.
Agreed. Fantastic fall season for all the LL kids, no doubt. Okay, a couple of LL football housekeeping notes. As mentioned, Evan Jones, Penn Manor Player of the Week. He's having a great season. He really is for Penn Manor. He's been great, and he ran the ball great last week. John caught up with him, looked for a fun video of him online, LancasterOnline. Check for that. John this week went over to LS, caught up with Cam Niemeyer for a fun feature. Give us a quick preview of that.
Yeah, the guy does everything. He plays multiple positions on offense, multiple positions on defense, and he returns kicks. And if they didn't have Peyton Denlinger, he'd probably be kicking field goals too. So
Nice.
he's a do-it-all type of kid, and he's a team captain as well.
Nice.
So.
Love the multi-purpose kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Two other fun notes. Cameron Roth, you mentioned, getting Manheim Central this week. Roth needs 87 rushing yards for 1,000 this season.
Wow.
That would put him in the 1,000 club. He already has over 2,000 passing yards. He'd be just the 9th LL quarterback to do that in a single season. Mark Himmelsbach from Hempfield did it last week. He's a 1,000 kid, so that's fun. So keep an eye on that big milestone moment on Friday. I'm out of breath. Okay, last segment this week will be Glory Days. What do we have?
Yeah, thanks to McCaskey Athletic Director John Mitchell for sending this in. Last month, McCaskey inducted 7 new members into its Athletic Hall of Fame. He did send us some individual pictures. However, I was had struggling to figure out who's who in those pictures. So I'll show you a group one instead and just say those new 7 members are Bruce Baer, class of 1961, John Plackens, class of 1962, David Williams, class of 1967, Jeff Swope, class of 1974, Miss Houston, my apologies if I mispronounce your first name. I believe it's Denesia Houston, class of 1981. Russ McDonald, class of 1987. And Jenna Philo, class of 2004. Congratulations to those 7 new members. Oh, by the way, Russ McDonald, he was a guest on the Inspirational Athletes podcast back in September, episode number 46. So make sure to search that out. It's definitely worth listening to. Yeah, and if you guys have anything for the Glory Days submissions, could be from last year, 5 years ago, 50 years ago, we don't care. Crack open a scrapbook, get the picture to us, sports@lnpnews.com, along with the name, team, year, whatever other pertinent information we'll feature right here on the Glory Days segment. Okay, Jeff, week 10 in high school football and a lot of other fall sports. Very busy playoff season and all that stuff. So it's going to be another fun week for sure. So for Jeff Reinhart, I'm John Walk. We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for watching.